This isn't just another educational program. We really believe it's a dynamic learning environment where people are shaped not only with their knowledge, but how to respond with their everyday lives. One of the ways we do that is through having people not just journey through the material as an individual, but always in the context of community. That the tables are part of the learning experience and the transformation process. They get to taste and see what the kingdom looks like in the life of their community.
I can't speak more highly of what the community brings to the discipleship process. In modern American way of learning, everything is kind of on your own, in a book, you're just in your head all the time, but to be able to really talk and wrestle through things in a safe environment with other Christians has been, I think, one of the best parts of Surge.
Many of us we learn these different Bible stories, but we don't really get to see how they connect with one another and how there's this grand narrative. So to be able to see that light bulb come out, the story connect together for them, and then be able to kind of wrap in their personal stories within the story of God is just something I think is very impactful.
Over the past 15 years, this pathway has served churches in a variety of contexts, both nationally in the United States, but also globally. Places like Hungary and Italy and Canada using this as a pathway to form their people into the gospel story.
This program is, I would say, intense discipleship into an all-of-life theology, which dignifies our work, sees all the ways in which we show up in the world and the good things we do as a part of this grand story.
This learning environment is a 4-module discipleship pathway that seeks to equip and activate everyday disciples to faithfully take up their role in God's story. We do this in primarily 4 ways, which are the 4 modules of this pathway. The first module is gospel story. What we want to do is we want to help people see the Bible not as a manual, not as a book of moralistic stories or motivational sayings. We want people to understand the Bible as primarily the true story of the whole world, in which their stories are to find their place. This module then transitions us into the second module, gospel formation. We recognize that the Bible is the one true story of the whole world, but we also recognize that there are other cultural stories and currents that are seeking to shape our affections and our allegiances. And every day we're bombarded with these stories. The third module then is reimagining the role of mission, God's mission, as expansive and comprehensive, not just or not solely just evangelism, but a word and deed mission, that we get to demonstrate and declare the good news that Jesus reigns over every square inch of creation.
The most impactful module for me might have been module 2, which was about formation.
My favorite module is the first module, and the story is so foundational to faith, to understanding the Bible. I feel like that is what changed my personal walk with the Lord.
To be able to see these stories come together as one narrative.
Understanding the word better, understanding the grand story. I never had that ever taught to me, and at that point, like 18 years of being a Christian.
It actually takes us thinking about what are these formative practices and rhythms in our lives that will be these disruptors, so that we're not just swept by the culture, but we're actually pushing against it actively so that we're being formed in the ways of Jesus.
This all leads us then to module 4, which is missional vocation. We want you to narrow in, to think about your work, your everyday work, paid and unpaid, as integral, as essential to the mission of God in the world.
People that are working in the workplace that feel like their work doesn't really matter because they aren't in ministry or they don't have a paid position at a church, that their work is less or unseen by God or uncared for by God. And so being able to dignify their work as an image bearer has been, I think, a huge impact.
Whether you're a janitor or a CEO of a company, your work matters and is vital to God's unfolding work of renewing and restoring all things.
At a congregational level, it's borne so much fruit. I think people are realizing that church really isn't just about coming on Sunday. It's really about participating in what God's doing. And Surge really helps develop an identity as a Christian in that way.
We believe these 4 modules are the ingredients needed to form disciples of Jesus in every context, in every place, to faithfully take up their role in God's story.